Hello, everybody. Just coming in.
Yep.
It's a good topic too.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the shift today. It could be in relation to a lot of different things going on right now. I mean, earlier you said something about the energies were very strong.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know exactly what it is, but you can tell something's coming.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for everybody, it might be different.
Yeah.
But everybody feels it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Things are changing. Things are moving. One thing that we know that is for sure is change, motion. So.
Yep. Always moving. So, in other words, always shifting. Depending on what your focus is for that shift will determine your reality per se.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going into a new year too in a few days. 2018 is on the horizon. But I'm pretty sure the commander has a lot of stuff to talk about. And this is going to be a great topic of discussion. Thank you all who've already tuned in. Shout out to Harry Dents, Valerie, Lauren's in the house, Brett, Robert, Melissa, what up, Mel? Pam, mm-hmm. Melody's in the house. Yeah, Ahuva, hello Ahuva. And we're gonna wait for y'all to keep trickling in. Until we do, you know how I do. Overseas your maestro. I'll make a song selection. This one is called The Nelson Story. And it pertains to, no, this is actually, the Nelson Story, I believe, was last year around this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was bringing in the Coolies when we were already doing, I think it was after Coolie Belt Experience Part 1, and then I think AZ recorded this song, and then we went into Coolie Belt Experience Part 2, so it was more of a gear into like, when we spoke about doing some retro music, this is kind of has that feel.
Yeah,
so
that's nice.
Yeah, The Nelson Story, y'all can catch it on Basement Politics of UBC. Of course, I'll put the link in the comment section later on. And yeah, enjoy the music.
Word.
Okay. Could you give me a handful of peanuts, Maud?
Oh, sure.
Not those peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
One's at the bottom.
Well, let's know. Work never stop, y'all. The winter is the winter, got his own agenda. Integral symbols to the senses, check your intuition, but hey yo. A cold relentless, embrace acceptance on some Tai Chi. Transfer your energies to high speed. I get it. Shine as a beacon in the water, as a boat is leaking. It's a captain's duty, booty. Yo, too easy to get frustrated, start to play important things when you create an art movie. My first queen used to call me when I'm sitting back, carefree, the persona type to keep it coolly. We get lost in this song sometimes. We gotta step left.
Stalkers will find a way. Well,
I know.
she'll get something out of it.
This is my house. This is the impact market.
Not yet, though.
Steady. Yo. I run with them like the dogs, we kind of super raw. The only grandma still getting down like I got it, yo, nobody can stop me. I'm still on the movie, all the new contradictions be present, daddy. I see some scene, my kids are so big at the beach. Stay surfing. Big blessings we should be deserving. I cry to see some scene. My kids are so big at the beach. Stay surfing. These blessings we should be deserving. Still move forward through the look of my dreams. I get on the fire, this soul's fire, this for 18 times, and I feel burning. Still on your soul signs, and I'm understood. Swerve with a street point, with a fly time and a gold time. They never heard the same touch.
I like that idea. Really there.
Thank y'all for tuning in. I got some here.
Yeah. You want me to turn this one off?
No, it's
Okay.
okay. I mean, well, you can turn it off now.
I'll go ahead and put the song in the comments section in a
Smells
moment.
good, man. I like this.
Yeah, it is pretty fly.
Oh. Yeah. That's what's up.
All right, cool. Greetings, all. Try to center this a little bit and back it up so we can. I want everybody kind of in the picture, if y'all don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, we got
We might get close now.
cool. All right, so how y'all feeling?
I'm good, man.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good night.
All righty. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Let's Build. Took this a little teeny bit. Live here at the Rob. And as you all know, today's discussion remains about the nature of our shift. Thank you so very much, all of you, for your continuous service and shine here on the new earth. Thank you all for your services and all the things that you do to continue to assist us in who we are of the angelic realms of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light here on the surface of planet Earth. And yes, we have a beautiful talk today in connection where we will share much of that which is unfolding here in this now moment. So yeah, it's always a great pleasure. Thank you for being here. If anything that you will receive here, it is an expression of gratitude. This is constant, and for the most part, once again, there is no such thing as too much gratitude, so it is quite repetitive that we continue to say thank you and let you know that it is an honor to connect with you always. So what we're going to do continuously is continue to express the nature of what is unfolding in this now moment. Oh, those are the things I need on my keys.
Yeah.
And where's the other ones?
I do over here. I don't know. Those are just two. Oh,
That one. There you go.
oh no.
No, I got it, though. Some good.
So it's Puerto Rican.
Yeah, no doubt. We stealing, kid.
Without even knowing you're doing it.
Oh, man,
It's not stealing, bro.
Mine is yours, right? Mine's yours.
That's true.
I don't know that.
I don't know that we're stealing. We don't do that.
Oh, man. All right, so yeah, now that we've come to the now moment and we all are here, let us all digress and express or embrace our daily exercise, where we are now going to clear the energies that we have around us, all the things that have happened and have dawned on our energy field heretofore will be released through our 60-minute meditation, where, of course, the disclaimer, as always, the expressions of these sonic communications directly to you via this platform is but a small percentage and fraction of that which is being expressed through our connection and who we are, the angelic realms, where we intend to connect with you on a deep level, where the majority of the connection and information the intuitive realization of what is being expressed here remains on an energetic level. However, the potency of this connection is based on your own centered self, and where it's necessary for us to calm and connect with you, we use the 60 seconds to connect with you in grace. So everyone, wherever you are, now it is time for us to relax, let everything go. We're going to be silent, relax the body, the mind, close the eyes, the windows of the mind identity, to allow for a peace and a connection where we are connecting directly with you now in our intent to communicate and express the nature of this shift. So 60 seconds, take a couple of deep breaths and relax yourself. As we return, gently allow yourself to embrace your extremities once again. Wiggling your toes, start to feel your hands. Allow your lungs to return to normal capacity. Your air intake, go ahead and start to open your eyes. Allow the resonance of the energy that you feel in this now moment to truly be embraced and cultivated. You may feel a slight tingle, sensations of a very light, somewhat ticklish energy throughout your energy field. You may notice somewhat of a light fragrance in your environment. This is our presence. This is our connection with you in this now moment, where it is a pleasure, a great pleasure to be here with you in recognizing the nature of your services and that which is your energy here on the surface of planet Earth. So I will state no matter how much we enjoy the sense of presence, the chemistry, the charisma that you may see amongst who we are, universal brothers and sisters, there is still an underlying frequency of peace that is constantly recognized and addressed, cultivated and expanded upon, where this frequency of peace remains the nature of divine seriousness. There is a sense of focus here that exists beyond the jokes, the games that may be played here amongst the human form. So it's a pleasure and a great honor to be here and respecting the gift of life. And of course, we embrace each other and our natures with such expressions. However, underlying, there's an eternal frequency of peace that is taken very seriously. And the reason this is stated is because that peace is the foundation of life itself. Without peace, without coexistence, without unity, there is no life. There is only destruction. There is only chaos. There is only drama. There is only disrespect and more suffering. We have the honor and pleasure and privilege to be able to communicate to you all, for you to view and connect with us through these platforms, through these forms of technology, where there is a source of electricity in your environment. There is an environment of climate control, if you will, and there's access to many blessings. Not only the blessing of sight and hearing and touching and feeling and clothing also, but the many blessings that come with pure existence itself. So it's necessary to recognize that this is constantly embraced and cultivated within this presence, even though there is a somewhat playful expression of life. There is always a return to that frequency of focus and seriousness, and realizing the state of emergency that remains the nature of existence on planet Earth in this now moment. The state of emergency, this shift that is constant, is what we're here to talk about today. This is not to say we cannot integrate the natural emotions of joy and excitement and play that comes as an integrated aspect of our existence and our experience. However, those that are of spiritual maturity always recognize the return to the frequency of peace at the foundation of one's existence. So we talk about the shift today. You are the shift, and being the source of this hologram. It is you. It is you. It is you. You are the shift. All aspects of this reality is transforming. Transforming in ways that are efficient and most effective. Efficient and the most effective in alignment with infinite intelligence and where you are energetically on your path at this moment. This life path that you're experiencing, this path remains your life theme, if you will. The theme being the chosen experiences, the chosen harmonic essence of your being that is responsible for your intentions, your preferences of being, your desires. Some people intend to experience simple lives, some more complex, some lavish. However, the foundation of that theme, that sense of being, is within your harmonic essence and that which you have chosen for this in particular incarnation. Everything, all the details of your physical existence and being an expression of source, of the one. And of course, all reflections embody this same structure or construct, if you will, this harmonic essence, these intentions, the personality construct, the intentions, the path, the desires, all have these constructs. However, this is yours. And the nature of this shift is unfolding in a way that is practical in alignment with your frequency, your harmonic essence of being, based on the investment of energy that you embrace and allow on your individual path. It's not like a mouthful. But in that being said, the shift is clear. Things are changing. Everything is changing. Change is constant. This has always been. And some humans will continue to argue that change has always been, and there is no difference. However, the difference is clear to those more sensitive in recognizing the rapid nature of the changes. Yes, there are platforms of information that allow this information or the changes to be readily available much faster than they were previously. However, underlining that, there are changes that are taking place on a much more integrated and conscious level amongst individuals. Governments, institutions, on a collective level, a collective consciousness level, and amongst individuals and your level of insight as far as what is taking place in your own individual reality. There are changes. There is a frequency increase brought about by the increase of light in this dimension. The grassroots developments that continue to take place and are unfolding amongst those continuing to evolve in consciousness are constant. The new policies being presented by many amongst not only our new earth or our earth allies, but also those in places of influence that use their influence to express information and realizations that they have internally to the public. When it comes to those in influential places such as music or industry, movie, whatever the case may be, they use their influence to express the nature of their own realizations and allowing for such a manifestation to come forth. Collective awareness, public opinion. I say this because it's necessary for us to realize something. There are things unfolding in public eye, not only amongst media outlets, but on more personal levels, local government, community efforts, where there's activity that has always been an aspect of the human experience, has always been an aspect of the human experience in the way humanity has chosen to express themselves. However, within this frequency of light that we're experiencing here on the planet, there is a level of eloquence and maturity amongst public opinion. We're starting to realize things that as a collective, that frankly doesn't fly anymore. Mm-hmm. Things being done and decisions being made in places of influence amongst those decision makers that just doesn't fly anymore. And this is reflective of the collective consciousness amongst the species changing. Because once again, for example, I intend to stay away from the outer dramas of the illusion. However, there has always been clearly the Donald Trumps of humanity. And for many, many generations, these decisions, these points of view have been carried out and executed in many different ways and have been allowed to do so. However, the collective consciousness amongst humanity, the eloquence and level of maturity amongst humanity as a whole is starting to realize the destructive nature and immaturity of these decisions. And it is necessary for us to recognize that it is not the people or the activities that have changed. It is the frequency of the people that has continuously changed. And in actuality, in a very short frame of linear time, many changes of this nature has continued to unfold and continuously is being seen on broader and broader scales. The segue is clear in this age of quick exchange and information processing. instant gratification is desired amongst the ego. Instant gratification is desired amongst the ego. When we speak of these changes, there are many who are very, very impatient, and especially amongst the awakened community.
Mm-hmm.
There's more information and the availability of deception and a cascade of other information that's being presented, and there's an anxious sense of urgency amongst many of you, where you would like to see changes take place like this, because once again, there's these quick forms of information exchange, and we feel a sense of urgency where we're like, why is this not happening now? It needs to happen, the changes and this, and because of this anxiety and urgency and frustration of the mind identity, there is the tendency to feel that there's some type of deception, because there's not instant gratification or some type of proof that who we are, the angelic realms of the Galactic Council or the Galactic Federation of Light, are not here, or not here doing what we're expressing that we're doing. It's taking place. It's continuously taking place. These shifts are constant, and it's a very integrated aspect of your own being. The changes taking places within you are reflective of the changes taking place outside. However, as expressed before on a couple of transmissions, it has to happen inside first. You're not waiting on anything outside of you. Waiting in the illusion is to stay in the illusion. The more you wait on something outside of you to change, the more frustrated you become, because there's nothing outside that's going to change until the things inside of you change. And the things inside of you changing takes work, it takes focus and concentration and discipline and a sense of work ethic. This involves hard work. Every aspect of this involves hard work. To feel that we are just going to walk into the heavenly realms without doing the healing work that is necessary is absurd. Any soul of even intellectual maturity recognizes that energy has to be invested to make any type of changes. Any type of changes on any level. However, a soul of spiritual maturity recognizes that not only does the physical, emotional, intellectual hard work take place, but also spiritual hard work, which involves a sense of presence. And when you talk about presence, patience is not of conversation. There is only now, this now moment. There is no when, there is no why, there are no questions. There is only the work that we recognize before us that can only be done by us as leaders. So there is no waiting. There's only the work that is present. Ladies and gentlemen, the horizon is changing constantly. As time travelers, we view the current trajectory. We view the current trajectory of each and every one of you. There is a collective consciousness. However, there is an individual consciousness, and that trajectory is based on the investment of energy, focus, and intent that you invest in the changes that are taking place outside or inside, that is at the foundation of the changes the changes taking place outside of you. These changes internally are the foundation of the changes taking place outside, which is the liberation of yourself and in turn your loved ones. Time travel is but frequency shifting. All realities existing in this now moment, similar to a TV. All the channels are taking place now. All the shows or programming on all the channels on your TV are taking place all at the same time. However, you're only able to view one channel at one time. This is the frequency that you're in. The frequency that you're in is the channel that you're viewing. The other channels are continuously unfolding and taking place. Whatever show is taking place is going on right now. Whatever game is going on the other channel is continuously taking place. However, the channel that you are tuned into is the one that you view. And this is the equivalent analogy of the frequency that you are in. So once again, as time travelers, we're able to shift frequencies. Our presence here with you now is but a shift in our frequency to assist as a service to humanity in this time continuum, if you will, as the opportunity to shift is available to you in this now moment. It is available to you in this now moment. Our participation is gradual. Our participation is gradual, but is increasing, where this is reflective of the developing of this transition. The nature of the less builds. Not even a year ago, well, yeah, about a year ago, we connected with you, what was it, like once a month, something like that? Mm-hmm. Once a couple of months? I think at this time, was it once a month or?
It was, we started with once a month, and then we moved into twice a month, and then we moved right into once every week.
Absolutely. So,
took about 3 quarters to do that.
Clearly, our participation with you, along with all the other sources of information that speak on the nature of the shift, the many masters, interdimensional beings that exist here amongst the planet, within this frequency of being, this dimension, all communicating simultaneously at once as to the nature of what is taking place with humanity. We are continuously increasing our participation with you through the communications and the nature of the communications, which have become more and more intimate over this span of time. Not even communications, which have become more and more intimate over this span of time. All good. So, as we continue to shift, as the transition continues to unfold, there is a closeness, there is a deepening of the intimacy in which we connect with you, the frequency in which we connect with you, no pun intended, continues to increase constantly. So, now that that's said, let's move on to you. As the foundation of this shift, this is about you. There are many who felt, and we can sense this as we observe you constantly, you're being monitored. There are many of you who felt that our talk today would be about what was taking place throughout this reality, as far as what's going on with the prosperity funds, where, what's happening with the arrest of whoever and all the different people. And these are all external aspects of the illusion, where our purpose, our focus is on that which is the most effective in assisting you in experiencing this shift in liberation, which happens and takes place within you. This is not about what is taking place outside of you. It's about what is taking place within you. This is what this connection is about. It's called Let's Build. And when we say let's build, it's about building with you. Let us build ourselves in recognizing the nature of who we are as source. This is what this is about. So, grounding, we speak about grounding a lot. And the concise definition of grounding and expressed here and through who I am as Commander Ashtar remains the shifting of an incarnate from the headspace back into the heart space. This is the nature of grounding yourself. There are plenty of definitions, however, amongst our extraterrestrial kind, from this level of consciousness, grounding is about moving out of your head back into the heart space and being the center of your being, which is allowing for all of these things to take place. The brain is but a record of past experiences. It's a collection of past experiences used for analysis and survival over the span of linear time here on the surface of planet Earth so far. It's a tool amongst humanity, amongst the illusion. And for the most part, these past experiences have remained within very low frequencies of being. So basically, you have a collection of information based on your experiences here in the hell planes. Now, with the intent of moving out of the hell planes into the heavenly realms, it doesn't even make logical sense to use the mind as a tool on making decisions if your intent is to move into the heavenly realms, because your paradigm, your mental paradigm, is based on all the things that have taken place within the realms of limitation. These are the things that have protected you and assisted you in your journey through the darkness. You wouldn't use the manual of the darkness to move into the light. You're shifting realities. Grounding is about releasing the manual of how to maneuver in the darkness and embracing the light within your core, your heart space. This is what this is about, and this is what's necessary for those of you who truly intend to make any type of progress on this path. This is outdated info, if you will. Humanity as a species, and we spoke of this before, as far as the nature of your experience here on the surface of planet Earth. Humanity as a species, and the planet Earth in this dimensional framework, here in this dimension, planet Earth is regarded as one of the hardest planets to experience. And this is based on the humanity's high degree of acceptance of self-imposing limitations. In more layman's terms, humanity as a species is famous for accepting things that do not allow the species to move forward. Limitations. You have no limits. However, humanity, the construct that we exist in, is conducive and has been cultivated in such deep programming that we are famous, if you will, throughout the galaxy for accepting things as being true that aren't actually true. So humanity's famous for accepting lies, just based on the amount of programming that has been cultivated here on the planet. The amount of information that has been collected through the mind identity in its very ignorant state, in actuality expressing itself in a very arrogant way and feeling that it knows what is taking place, and it bombards itself with an extreme amount or a plethora of prerequisites to do things that are quite natural to one's being. And for the most part, it is the blessing of being here on planet Earth. This is what is allowing you to recognize your own strength, because of the amount of limitations that we've experienced or accepted. This is just the amount or the level of strength you have to heal because of the amount of limitation that has been accepted here on the surface. With that being said, it's necessary for us to start from 0 point. Starting from 0 point is difficult only because of the amount of information that we've accepted, the learning, the vast amount of learning that we embrace to be the truth of our existence. Humanity is probably one of the most taught species, or educated species, if you will, in this sector of space. However, this is, in actuality, humanity's handicap. Because of all this information, all of these truths that have been accepted, these details of information that has been accepted over this linear experience, there is so much to release. And this is why it's hard, because there's so many things that we feel are actually true that we cannot let go of because it seems so convincing, because of the quotes and the book references, the numbers, the details, the explanations. There's tons and tons of information that we sit upon and feeling that it's responsible, mature, and somehow scholastically more evolved to hold on to this information, when in actuality it is keeping us in bondage, an intellectual jail of information, which requires us to release, which we're required to release to evolve as a species. We're at about 30. Actually, no, we're probably at about, I said like 33 minutes. I got maybe about another 15. Let us take a breather. Let's take a breather so we can digest. Everyone can take a break and get something to drink. And then we'll come back and speak a little teeny bit more. I'll allow C's to pull up another track for us, and we'll continue with part 2. And then we'll have our discussion. However, once again, I reiterate, amongst all that is being expressed, it's necessary for you to recognize that if you did not have the strength to do what it is that you came here to do, you would not be here. We'll be right back after these messages. C's.
Yes, a lot expressed about this shift, and yeah, that's a lot of info there, Skywalker. But yeah, with that being said, I'll go ahead into another selection of music from our Basement Politics of UBC page, and I'm going to go ahead and let y'all take a listen to Deeper Fantasy. This was also done around the same time Nelson's Story was done last year. So y'all go ahead and enjoy that and take a breather, get you something to drink, some snacks, whatever. If Ramon was here, you know, he had some chips or something.
Mm.
But and we'll be back in a moment.
Don't define jazz. Jazz is just like an attitude. See, music is nothing but styles.
Being so concerned with something, sometimes we forget about nothing. Perhaps you never stop to realize the beauty of the significance of nothingness. But even nothingness, if it is kept in its proper proportion and its proper perspective, has its beauty.
Not one style. You know, people say you sold out and shit like that. I don't know what they're talking about, and I don't care to. That's what musicians say when they're lazy and don't want to learn different things about music. music.
Yeah. Black and white rises always. Yeah. Okay, what else you know how he does it? Yeah. One defense, he's swirling. Yeah. I sing myself a lullaby. Laying on the deck, staring deep into the night rise. Find safe ground in the breath sounds. All now, calm down, let the fears drown. Appreciate the best I can. Yeah. Epics of the human. Surfs up, boys out. Hang ten. Ride the tide, divine plans. Stand in the sands. While we light the fires when the moon's out. Right. On the ground, no. See the colors on the canvas all mixed up, with the flavors all together, about to fix a soup. Yeah, we could kind of emotional dramas, spice life, the oils of peppers that bring it together are blessings. The chef is an artist preparing the garnish through essence. Yeah, tasting like a consciousness, connoisseur and confidence. Embrace the love and nature of the presence as a cool oasis. So created, deep fantasy feeling. See the author's ink even more vivid, described as a living division. The writing, exciting, igniting the flame, inviting the game. Master media, magical message, master music. Make it matter, my efforts are multi. We make it movies. Never been a loser, but illusion. Make you feel like you lose it sometimes, getting caught up in confusion. Over a glass of hot chocolate. Some Scotty, on fire. You know, smell the swamps and taste, smell the science. Yeah. The sweetness is warm. People want a lot of space. Yeah. Sweetness is warm, let it be born by my speakers. Great purchase. Water won't drain. Nobly honest into insane. Structure gotta be solid. I'm rocking. Hey. Skywalker look down for the future. Hey.
That's what I get for it. So I ignore the critics.
You dig? So once you want to give a shout out, give a shout out to Cassandra already, brother?
I don't think she's watching, but
It's all good.
I want to make a shout out to Cassandra. Thank you for the card. Very beautiful. You know, for the artwork as well. We love you. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Once again, we continue with our conversation about the nature of the shift that we all are experiencing in this now moment, the shift of humanity as a species here on the surface of planet Earth. It is, once again, a great honor and pleasure to connect with you as always. Thank you for your continuous participation in the healing process that is unfolding in this now moment. So we continue forth. And appropriately, we'll start from where we left off. And where we left off at was starting from 0 point.
Mm-hmm.
Starting from 0 point, if you will, is about being here. It's about being present. And recognizing that this now moment is absolutely perfect. Life is absolutely intelligent. There's nothing to figure out, read, or study, or learn, if you will, about the life path and experience that you are unfolding in this now moment. Not to say that anything is wrong with your studies, if you will, the things that you intend to realize more of, refreshers, or whatever the case may be. You follow your intuition and embrace that which sparks your heart's desire, your excitement, if you will, your passion, if you will. Embrace this. However, 0 point is in being able to start from here and recognizing that there is nothing that you need. You are whole. You are God, experiencing your own experience, your own design. That which is necessary will continue to be presented, just as everything has unfolded in your life heretofore. There has been a absolutely intelligent, infinitely intelligent path laid before you, and all the things that have unfolded within your experience in hindsight have been recognized as absolutely perfect. There are things that you were presented that you didn't even know that you needed to continue forth within your experience in a way that was efficient. By design, there are no accidents. However, the mind identity is in much fear in light of the ways of being that evolved souls embrace on a daily basis. Let me speak a little teeny bit about our hyperspace existence, the future timelines that we exist in, these highly evolved frequency realities, in which we came here to assist humanity. In these realities, and in actuality, within this reality of being and who I am as an extraterrestrial amongst humanity, the way in which I carry myself within this individual incarnation is this. There is an engagement. There is a sense of engagement and excitement and enthusiasm for what the day brings. And I'll rephrase that. There is a sense of excitement that I engage life with, involving the unknown. I spoke with a young lady not too long ago, and being displeased about the nature of her current reality, because there are changes taking place in friends or whatever the case may be in your close circle. Their priorities change. Many people around you change, and things happen that kind of break you out of your comfort zone, because you're familiar with all the things that have existed within your construct, and you're quite happy and comfortable with things being the way that they are. You don't want them to change. However, at the same time, you want to experience a sense of joy and excitement and zest for life. And the communication summed up, or at least the communication from my behalf was summed up in, you want to experience the zest and excitement of life. However, you want to maintain the security of knowing what's going to happen next. Security and excitement, or the zest, if you will, of life can't necessarily coexist in the same place. Knowing that you're safe is an intuitive factor. However, the zest of life is in embracing that which is being unfolded that you don't know about. However, there's a level of trust that everything that is unfolding is for your benefit. You're experiencing your design. There's only more joy to experience, more adventures to experience, more connections of a beautiful nature to experience, which makes life even more beautiful. There are deeper connections to realize as your love expands. But once again, the brain finds this very hard because it wants to remain within this box, this conventional box of safety, because of its fear. However, as you heal, you release the illusion of fear and allow yourself to embrace life wholeheartedly beyond this fear, and recognizing that there's nothing that happens by accident, and around every corner is a blessing. This blessing comes in many forms. However, it's necessary for you to recognize that the fact is, around every corner is a blessing. And the zest is in embracing the mystery of what that blessing is, beyond attempting to hide behind the safety of security. There's either freedom or security. There are many amongst humanity who have given their lives to experience security. However, there is no freedom. There's either one of the two. And what we intend, as far as those evolving more into the new earth, is to experience freedom, not only for oneself, but for all. So evolving beyond the bondage of fear is absolutely necessary in your healing process. Embracing your passion and your creativity is amping up your frequency. Your passion and creativity are amping up your frequency. As you amp up your frequency, you're changing channels. This is where you're switching dimensions. This is where, when the analogy of the TV, if you will, if you're not preferring what you see on the screen, you change channels through embracing your passion, through embracing your creativity, which is amping up your frequency, in turn, changing the channel in which you view. This requires work on a daily basis. This is how you amp up your frequency and connect with such realities. Being yourself unapologetically, being yourself. Beyond all the judgments and attempts of souls around you to manipulate the nature of how you carry yourself, through opinions, through judgment, through the attempt to validate why you being the way that you are is not appropriate or not normal, if you will. It is in you being yourself that you amp up your frequency and move in alignment with the path, the life path that you have designed for yourself, which is by far the most blissful experience you will ever realize, which is by your design in which you were born on this planet to experience. This is what you're here for. Your higher self and the entirety of the spiritual hierarchies recognize the miracle of life and the blessing of being here to experience that which you have designed for yourself. You are to experience this only through you embracing who you are. speak a little bit to that, because this is very, very important. By being yourself, and this, I'll refer this again to another conversation I had with another young lady. She speaks on the nature of my individual natal chart here, and finding my presence fascinating, beyond the ego and separation. She's somewhat studied the nature of my experience, or my linear experience, and continues to express that the nature of my path and the things that I'm doing within my experience are always in alignment with the path that is written in the stars based on this incarnation. And this is not necessarily surprising. However, it is only reflective of the engagement in life and embrace of oneself that is taking place, the level of unconditional love that takes place here. I embrace myself fully, where when you do this without fail, the unfoldment of your path is absolutely perfect in alignment with what you have designed for yourself. Absolutely in alignment with your design and what you have designed for yourself. And this is to say all that you do, all that you experience in every moment, and not even every person that you meet, all the relationships that you have, they happen perfectly in exactly the right moment. And this is based on you being yourself in this now moment. As you are yourself and continue to embrace and cultivate yourself and make the decisions that are in alignment with who you are in truth, your life pans out and falls into place like clockwork, like without delay, with no mistakes whatsoever. This includes the people that you meet, you fall in love with, the perfect relationships. Everyone around you is absolutely perfect. Not to say this is not the case for everybody. However, this is the case by your design. Through you being yourself. Through you being yourself, there are absolutely no mistakes, and everything that you have designed for yourself is happening now. Pre-birth, the things that you have designed for yourself are happening. However, once again, the function of this is based on you being yourself, you embracing your passion, following your excitement, if you will, embracing your creativity, staying engaged, embracing the unknown, evolving beyond opinions, the expressions of others, and absolutely unconditionally loving yourself and embracing your life with all that you have in this now moment. And I'll say this and we'll move. The circumstances don't matter. It's your frequency of being that truly is reflective of where you are in your spiritual maturity, and is the deciding factor of what happens next. And as you continue to mature in frequency, that which happens next continues to evolve in frequency and more bliss. It is just in your ability to embrace this as a being of spiritual maturity, open and accepting of that which is unfolding. So now that we recognize that, let's speak a little bit to the nature of an awakened soul's paradigm. because in the past, amongst this transition that we've experienced, is we all have our phases. We all have our phases of awakening. There is the infant stages where you're somewhat curious of ascension and awakening, and the idea of liberation is exciting for you. However, there is no real in-depth integrated participation in the process of doing the things that come with actually awakening. You're just curious and you're like, oh, this is cool. You know, I might watch a video here and there, but you know, I might meditate like once, you know, every now and then or whatever, but there is no real participation on a daily basis in integrating the nature of this awakening into your lifestyle. This is the infant stages of awakening. And this is a choice. This is always a choice. I'm not going to name all the stages, but this is the beginning. One of the more interesting stages, and let me not say interesting, but one of the more intriguing stages of the awakening process involves the proactivity and distorted proactivity, if you will. There are lots of star seeds, light workers, and indigos that are not aware of who they are here on planet Earth. Lots. I mean, the majority in actuality. The majority of light workers and indigos on the surface of planet Earth are not aware of who they are. And this is reflective in their actions, their investment in energy. They are not investing their energy in awakening and serving humanity, or maybe serving humanity, but for the most part in doing it in a way that is efficient and effective, which has its foundation within the individual. There is a focus on the outside and not a focus on the inside. I say that to say this: these souls are stuck within the illusion of focusing on, quote unquote, what the dark is doing, if you will. The dark is, let me show you how the Illuminati works and who is involved and what organization is responsible for it. And let me show you what they're doing to the food and what they're doing to animals. And look at what I'm gonna try to expose these people, and look what they're doing. And it's so sad. I hate humanity. Humans suck. Look what they're doing. They're such bad people. Oh my God. This we'll get to that in a second. Attempting to prove or be right. The debate of what this is and what this is about, fact finding, attempting to prove a point. I'm gonna show you, let me show y'all, and arguing, like all of these things. This is another aspect of the proactive participation in distortion by truly newly awakening souls that have not necessarily activated or engaged themselves in the process of being of service. There are those who dedicate a large amount of their energy or invest a large amount of their energy in attempting to disseminate information to expose what other people are doing and the lies and deception that are taking place on the planet. I mean, huge amounts of energy. Oh, look at this injustice. They just shot this dude in the face and they got it on camera. Look, share it with everybody. I speak to these 3 points. These categories of so-called awakened souls, to say this: the energy that you feel right now when speaking of these subject matters. Do you honestly feel that this vibration is assisting with the manifestation of peace on earth? In a space of peace, Do you really feel that these vibrational frequencies of being, this fear, this disgust, this shame, this guilt, this judgment, these harsh realities, these images, these projections, this judgment, do you feel that this is aiding or assisting anyone in realizing the frequency of peace here on planet Earth? The obvious is clear based on vibration. The state of being that this activity caters to, it only multiplies that frequency of being. You don't get clean water out of dirty water. It is the frequency of peace that is manifesting and unfolding the frequency of peace here on the surface of planet Earth. And your spiritual maturity is in your ability to recognize this. With this being said, you recognize the obvious. It's time. It's time to function more within the intuition. The intuition is not necessarily a third dimensional attribute, if you will. It's an aspect of your being that exists on a higher frequency of being. There is no how-to when it comes to embracing and cultivating your intuition. There is no how-to. How-tos are reflective of logical explanations of things that we are mentally to understand as far as step-by-step procedures and how to embrace one or the other, if you will. This is a function that is brought about through practice. And the key to that practice is pure intent. And intent works like this, and this is rather layman's, if you will, as far as an example is concerned. Intent says, I'm open and I'll give it a shot. Through this function, through that internal statement alone, there is a door that opens. And through that door comes a flood of support from the divine. This is where you allow us in more into your reality to show you, to guide you, to assist you in recognizing what you intend to realize. And this is through your openness. Pure intent allows for these functions to manifest within your experience. With your intent to realize a deeper level of intuition and functioning via the intuition, there comes the third tool, if you will. And this third tool is the embrace of synchronicity. The embrace of synchronicity. The embrace of synchronicity is It's like counting on it. The more intuitive you are, the more synchronistic your life is. That means I'm willing to go with the flow. I go with the flow, and through my sense of presence and observance of life itself, I see the infinite intelligence in all that is taking place before me constantly. Synchronicity is constant. It goes nowhere. There is only intelligence in everything that takes place. It's just that the more sensitive you are, the more observant you are, the wiser you become. And that wisdom is able to see, is able to recognize and realize the functions and orchestrations of infinite intelligence through the ability to observe. Operating from this place is necessary for us to continue to amplify our frequency and exist more on the new earth on a daily basis. This is by far the most advanced and greatest advice who we are as a collective can provide humanity. The embrace of your intentions, the cultivation and experience of following your excitement, embracing and continuing to evolve in your creativity and your services, working with your intuition through pure intention and allowing yourself to embrace synchronicity. You come to a point where you just count on things working. You count on it. You just know it works. And you come to a point then where you have no doubt. There are no questions. It's not about a belief. It's about you knowing that life is intelligent. And everything that I've created for myself is unfolding. I know this through my intuition without question. I cultivate my intentions through my energy, my focus, my investment, and I allow wisdom, infinite intelligence to unfold before me. Of course, you're proactive and everything is being presented, you participate in. However, these are the functionalities that you embrace prior to the manifestation of the opportunities before you in the physical. It all has its foundation internally. And I get this a lot. People will observe your lifestyle. They'll observe that which is taking place within your reality and say, you're lucky. You always lucky. I don't know why or how this works, but it just seems so lucky all the time.
Yep.
You seem so lucky, man. You know what? You're just lucky, man. And they'll continue to say that. And these same people will observe. They'll continue to observe. Let them watch. For those that are open and evolving, eventually they'll come and say, you know what? Let me join you. Let me join you one time. Let's hang out. I don't know what it is that you're doing, but you just seem lucky. Let me just hang out with you for a little bit and see what happens. Now, and I'm finishing up, but there's some that will take this opportunity to attempt to sell ideas to them, sell ideas to these souls, and say, yeah, I've been into this thing, and starships and da-da-da-da and this, and you start going into all the divination expressions and things beyond their conscious reach at present. Which is not necessary. Let that go. This is going back to attempting to prove a point, to sell something. We're not here to sell anything. As leaders, you're here to serve as an example through your lifestyle. Let them join you. Let them see. They observe the blessings that continue to unfold amongst your reality, and they're curious. However, this is not the time to attempt to sell them an idea or attempt to present ascension. Once again, everybody's at their level of being, and it's necessary based on free will to allow all to consciously exist where they are. It's okay. The greatest thing you can do is unconditionally love them and allow them to be. Chill with them, hang out. It's all good. Let's go do this. I want to go and do this today. It's very natural. Very, very natural in being a leader. You're not to tell someone what to do, not to tell them what they should do and offer unsolicited advice. It's just about being loving and shining your light. I'll end with this. Your mere presence is astounding. You'll never have more impact on humanity in this dimension than what you already have. I'll say that again. You'll never have more impact on humanity, on this world, than you already have. Your mere presence, your existence, your frequency of being. This is your impact. This is the climax. There are those who say, oh, I'm trying to get more followers. I'm trying to get people to join this group. I'm trying to get more people to listen to my stuff and get to hear what we're talking about, and sharing the video as much as I can, and this. Availability is all that's necessary. Promotion is not. This is not to say that there is no expansion. What this is saying is that your impact is at its greatest capacity already. However, that's on a level. That's on a deep spiritual level. Your presence is enough, and that is eternal. This is where you're God now and not later. You're awakening now and not later. There's only now. What this truly says is that through your work, through your creativity, through the things that you are continuing to embrace as far as your opportunities to serve is concerned, as you continue to serve and evolve your services, you're consciously witnessing your capacity of influence expanding for you to view on a conscious level. Your impact is already there. However, for you to view that impact on a conscious level, this is unfolding through your ability to embrace the services that you're here to provide. However, this is a choice. Your impact is there. However, you won't see this impact unless you invest the energy in services that you're here to express on a daily basis. This is a choice for you to see how much of an impact you're having on humanity, on all life in this dimension. But this goes with your level of respect and gratitude for life itself, your level of spiritual maturity itself. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the shift. Having this foundation within you, who you are as prime creator, driven by who you are as prime creator in the physical. You're not waiting on anybody. You're not waiting on ships to come down. You're not waiting on money to come out the sky. You're not waiting on anybody to be arrested. You're not waiting on other people to wake up. You're not waiting on it to be cool to to talk about ascension, leaders lead. And this is what we're here to do. With that said, we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back and combine both sections of our talk. We'll have an internal discussion here at the RA amongst ourselves, and then we'll go right into addressing any questions, inquiries, or stories we have in our comments section, and conclude our session for today. However, right now we're going to take a small break for a song. I'll turn it over to our Maestro C's, and then we'll keep moving forward. Thank you all for being here. We love you from the depths of our being.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and play this next selection. And yeah, so moving right into it. I think we're going to just pick it up here a little bit. And I'm going to play, it's kind of new, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks old, off the Basement Politics page, Teleport. So go ahead and get groovy here. And I'll put the link in the comment section right afterwards. Thanks for staying tuned. We love y'all.
I made it to be 20, so that means something. I'm supposed to do something, you know what I mean? I started making music when I was like 9, writing rhymes like 12. There's people right now that's nice at what they do, but everybody that's born with a talent, I just represent everybody that's born with a certain talent, you know what I mean? That never fulfill it, get caught up in the system, get trapped in the prisons that are set up for us, and all that other stuff.
Look, we can do it for the new age. That was anything I learned on the West Coast. What was that? Yeah, wine. They used to take it slow. Hollywood heavy at the ice cream spot. What a mulatto playing lotto, you can ask Luke Martin. My essence was a present on that boulevard. El Capitan, hippie, say Lord, that's Charles. Microphones, eating pieces on the burner while they gon' fall home and tell Jizzle what it be like on the bully. I ain't smoking them and still roll the best do be. These snake pieces from the missions for what did it all. The Chris trying to take pictures. The tricks on sunset, can see them by my head. My mom ain't gon' judge you, mama, you be shaking feelings. Yo, active with the leopard shorts. I do the biggie vocal lord with the crystal quartz. I teleport to support life. That's what I'm here for. I teleport to support life. That's what I'm here for. Oh, Sky. Spent a lot of time with the OGs. Reconciling old catalysts and past beats. Like an ambassador to the young basement conversation crew. Polly! The Southside Plaza by the fish on. What a hip hop guitar from the chaos. Took a hit, then I flipped that. Broke it down in 4 bars and kick that. Look at the young sweet suit. Charles Hunt, the Crown City. I mean, Sugar Bear taking care of business. Thick thighs, pretty lips. Snow bunny can't make the clips like this. His backs just stopping when I rock it. fly. A crazy maintain my buster. They moms analysis and the natural scholars be looking like a models. Boy, activated my house with my heavy moments. But a shot because I'm at home, girl. That's what I'm here for. On the block, telephone, that's what life. Light workers, yeah. Star seeds, light workers, yeah. And the goals don't start working. I see you, AJ. Let's do it. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so very much for joining us here at our Let's Build live at the Raw. We've reached the final portion of our talk today on the nature of the shift. We've had some great commentary about the nature of what is taking place here on planet Earth now. Now what we're going to do is have a discussion amongst ourselves. Maybe y'all can share some stories about your experience within the shift, and maybe this will inspire some commentary in our comment section as far as what is taking place here in this now moment. I mean, like y'all can maybe share a little teeny bit about the nature of y'all path, like what y'all been experiencing within the shift, like the things that you've seen. I mean, not necessarily a whole story, but like significant things that you see as far as humanity moving forward.
Well, I remember years ago when we first started to like discover ourselves and, you know, ask these questions and started learning more about ascension, how we were so eager to have things change, and we were waiting for that moment, you know, financial, you know, forgiveness and all this stuff. And as you mature though, just like AZ said, you start to realize that that does more harm than good. To be waiting for something, you start to realize it comes from here. So, and for me, that's exactly what's happened. I just live in peace, and I live like I try to live as truthful as I can to, you know, for myself. Mm-hmm. And things normally just go the way it's supposed to go, in sync, as long as you're true to yourself. The only person you're waiting on is yourself. Like, it's up to you. And once you realize that, everything else makes sense. You're more sensitive. You start to see things. You're more aware of what's happening. And you know, you can tell that things are changing, especially with politics and all this stuff. In fact, I think it seems like it's going faster. Things are changing faster. But despite that, we're not waiting on anything. We're not waiting. We're not looking for an end result. That all comes from you. So I totally agree, and I resonate with what AZ said. For me, that's how I live my life. I live my life one day at a time, and I try to shine the light the best I can, and that's all we really can do. But just doing that, working that inner work, is the best thing you can do, because we are all connected in some way, and we're making changes as a collective. And as long as we keep doing that, I think that's most important for me. So for me, yeah, I mean, we've come a long way since when we first started. Mm-hmm. And the same thing for everybody. In this shift, it looks like people are more aware, and you can't hide from the lies anymore. Like, It's almost as if we're being tested. Yeah, the veil's coming out and you're exposed. You're getting more exposed. Transparency is there, yeah. And I feel that. I really do. I feel for everybody it's a little bit different. For more people, so for some people it might be, more work that they got to do, and some other people maybe less. But everybody has their phase, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. So, but
we're on some level going up.
Right.
You see.
Right.
Let's say 5 years ago, if I was going through what I was going through now this year, on an emotional level, who knows? I might have been a statistic, but
right.
Like seriously, emotionally, for me this year has been a drastic emotional shift. I say that just because a lot of, in a personal perspective of what's going on in my life, there's been a lot. However, as far as like the point that I got from the shift these past few months, like the back end of the year, basically was like to understand that what I'm going through is basically what I designed, and to accept my design. And this is what I'm going to get forward, wherever that leads. We can't say like it's going to lead me. I know the liberation of humanity is the utmost thing that I want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But where's the next thing that I'm going to be leaping? The next lily pad I'm going to leap onto. What is it going to look like? I don't know. I just have to trust that.
Yeah.
At least I'm going to be able to make that leap,
Mm-hmm.
And to press forward. But yeah, this year was emotionally very testing for me and shifting. However, being able to understand my balance and acceptance of the things that are happening for me, and is able to understand others and
mm-hmm.
Become more sensitive to what's going on around me and stuff like that. So
mm-hmm.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I had to really cultivate that understanding of okay, stuff might suck, or I might be unlucky, or I might whatever you want to call it, but you designed it and you you got to go through it. Like if you weren't strong enough to go through it, you wouldn't have put yourself in that position.
Let me speak to that real quick, because a lot of people use that on the term
Mm-hmm.
Go through it, or let me get through this. This is once again program language amongst humanity in general. So like it's not odd to hear people say stuff like that. It's just with spiritual maturity, you come to realize that you're not like when you say go through it or deal with it, it's almost like you serving a life sentence, or like you in jail, or like this is like suffering. And that's not necessarily the case at all. Like this is when you recognize that it's by your design, it is what you've designed for yourself to embrace. Like to feel like you just got to go through it. It's almost like trying to numb yourself to what you're experiencing, when in actuality what you're experiencing and the things that you've created for yourself are there for you to feel. Like you're supposed to feel it.
Uh-huh.
And it's there for you to feel. Like, and the thing is the more you embrace what it is that you're experiencing, the faster it can move forward. It can move on because you felt what you needed to feel. You've processed the lesson, if you will. Not that we learn it, but you've processed the experience. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you process the experience, mm-hmm. it can go about its way, and you can move on to the next experience. However, to feel like you got to deal with it and I'm gonna just deal with it and just sit here and not embrace it, it's almost like ignoring it, which prolongs what you're experiencing because you're not necessarily getting it. Right. You're not feeling it. It's like, dog, feel me. I need you to feel me. And as long as you ignoring it and saying, I'm gonna just deal with this, I'm gonna just get through this and this, like you ignoring it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you need to embrace this. Mm-hmm. This is for you, because right now I need you to burn. I need it to hurt. Mm-hmm. I need it to hurt so you can move forward. But you need to be open and embrace how you feel. Let it hurt. Let it burn a little bit. but then keep moving. Brush yourself off, dust your knees off, and get going. Mm-hmm. But you can't do that if you're being like elusive to what is being experienced.
Well, basically, if you're rejecting it,
exactly,
you're not allowing
resistance.
When you're resisting it,
it creates to more suffering.
Yeah. And that's interesting because whenever anything that you don't like or something that is not very favorable to you or you believe is not favorable to you, for me, I know that's an indicator to me to embrace it, take it, because the more you reject it, you make more of it. You keep going. But if you embrace it, it makes it so much easier. If you realize that it's for your better good, for you,
it's for you. Like life is being unfolded for you.
Right.
And the thing is what we attempt to do is we attempt to avoid it by ignoring it and feeling like by ignoring it and finding other ways to just like just not experience it. Mm-hmm. We feel like it's just gonna go away.
Right. Like people suppressing feelings.
Exactly. That's where like alcoholism and all this other kind of stuff come from. Or drug usage or overdoses. It's basically suppressing that which needs to be experienced. And the thing is your intent to heal is what's responsible for the experiences themselves. So you intend to heal, but when the healing is presented, you resist it and actually try to ignore it. But you're like, oh no, I want to heal, but then like you press it away and try to subdue it through superficial stimuli.
Right.
And being evasive,
drinking, smoking,
and going this way and this, and trying to drown it out. Like, oh, I don't really want to deal with that because I'm kind of, going through this or whatever, and I'm going to try to psych it out or juke and get out the way. And it's like, no, bruh, you got to stand there and take it. Because when you stand there and accept it and take it, it can go. It'll move out the way. Mm-hmm. But it'll never happen until that point, until you stand your ground, stand your truthful square, and accept what's going on. Mm-hmm. Like, really.
And the thing is, there's a lot of people who are doing the same thing.
Most people do that.
And that's what I think that's pretty cool that you mentioned that, because that is part of the healing and the shift right now, because people are being faced with it. There's no hiding. It's like I feel like it's presenting, so there's no more hiding. There's no more trying to be evasive. No. You're either gonna, face it,
or the suffering will continue.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna get worse because the frequencies are increasing.
And that's why it's a perfect example of what's going on externally in the world. Mm-hmm. The people are waking up, I feel. Mm-hmm. And then those who are trying to suppress it, you see it more. It's more visual.
They look worn down. It's eat them up from the inside.
They're starting to take off their clothes, and you're seeing them naked.
But the thing is, and I noticed this a long time ago.
Right, but
like with the energies being so high and increasing on a daily basis, the ability to suppress and conceal how we truly feel is becoming null and void. Like you can't do that no more, because the more you suppress it, the more your body is being deteriorated from the inside, because your heart is burning bright and keep getting brighter and brighter and attempting to get you to face what it is that you need to face to unveil what you're intending to unfold.
Right.
And for the most part, it's like a double-edged sword, and it'll eat a person up from the inside, where the people that suppressing it just look like look tore up.
Yeah.
Because eating them up from the inside, like they attempting to conform or avoid what is being presented, to save face, to not be in the way of judgment. They're trying to avoid judgment. And I don't need people talking about me or looking at me like I'm crazy and this. I don't need people see or in my business and all that other kind of stuff. They're trying to avoid it or whatever. And for the most part, the only way I've been able to find a sense of liberation and freedom is in allowing myself to let it all hang out.
Right.
And the thing is this where all the courage came from. Because I was like, you know what? I'm doing this, I'm doing that. For a minute, I was homeless. Yeah, I'm sleeping in the whip. Yeah, I don't got my car no more. Yeah, I ain't got that job no more. This. Yeah, I was making super paper before and all other kind of stuff. I'm just letting it all hang out like, no, I don't care about what nobody think about me. Yeah. But the thing is it was at that point that everything just, like, it went away. And I became less, Yeah, like less burden. I was like, yo, son, I'm good. And then everything just started to fall into place.
I feel a lot freer, like a lot more liberal.
Liberated.
Yeah, liberated. And it's like a big weight off your shoulders.
Most definitely.
And the way I see it, how can you truly be in sync with yourself, be truly clear in your mind if you have all this suppressed fear or feelings and anxiety? How can we move on to the next shift and move on to ascension if we have this? There's no room for it. There's no room for the
you're going on the old bag and you're trying to make
that
sure
noise, that you're entertaining. Exactly.
See you in a particular light, like they used to see you,
right?
And you still the popular one, and you still as cool.
There's no room.
You know what I mean? Not like, yo, look, you got to let that stuff go and face it and move forward. Because the thing is, it takes strength to do this. Like, you got to be strong to serve.
Courage, yeah, a lot of courage.
Like, your skin got to be like you got to be able to take it, and not necessarily take it and hold on to it, but take it and let it go, like, and be light about it.
Right.
And still, like, be able to enjoy life and laugh and brush it off your shoulders and do the work. Like, get up and do the work and focus on what it is that you're doing versus, quote unquote, what you're going through and woe is me and victimization, all the other kind of stuff. Like, bro, ain't no victims here. Ain't nobody doing nothing to you.
Right.
This is your creation. It's what you're supposed to be experiencing. The only way for you to truly experience it and move forward from that is if you absorb it, embrace it, let it be. If you need to cry, go ahead and cry. You need to cry again, go ahead and cry. Look stupid, look crazy in front of people. You don't supposed to care. Like, let it happen. Let it happen, let it go, let it all be absorbed. But then the thing is from that point you can move forward. That's 0 point.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But we have to, like, this is the old self-identity dying. This is what it means to be reborn. You got to let that die.
You do.
That means you got to fail and be open to fail and fail hard. Like, you're going to look stupid to a lot of folks, but you got to be willing to let that be. Like, okay, cool, that's what's up. Yep. Let it be. I'm going to be that dude right now.
And for everyone, it's a different story, but it's the same thing. Everyone has a demon to face, or, quote unquote. But for me, it was relationship, and for you, it might have been, what you went through,
relationships,
being exposed,
like
money and all this kind of stuff. I mean, money too.
Like, I ain't really like, people don't do this like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I know AZ. AZ way before, he didn't need anybody at all. He doesn't need anybody now, but I mean, like, for him to expose himself, to ask for help.
Most definitely. For him, son got to bring me stuff to the hospital.
Right. When the hospital,
like, he can't walk to the store. Just like, he can't go get some light bulbs for himself.
Yeah.
Like, Like, I had to embrace that dependency and recognizing, my own value beyond me having to always do things on my own. It's like, no, I got family,
right? And
they gonna hold me down. This is the feminine.
This is the ego sometimes gets in the way too. There was, for me, like when somebody wanted to give me money, I can give money to anybody. Like, I hear you need something here, but for somebody to give it to me, it felt so uncomfortable. Like, I didn't want it, but I realized quick that if I'm able to give, then I should be able to also receive. Because while you're receiving, you're giving out to the universe more of that.
Most definitely. You
got to be open to be able to do that. So there is a lot of blockage for everyone. There's a lot of healing to do. But I think the shift is pushing people in the corner almost, but sort of.
Well, not
necessarily like that, but
the thing is, people who intend to evolve, like some people just not like in actuality. Most people, and that's why this process is so freaking serious, because most people, I'm talking about billions and billions of people here on planet Earth, are, and they're basically like walking dead, because they've already decided that they're not going to ascend. They enjoy competition. They want to fight. They want power. They want raping kids and this. They just know, like, they are not going to the new Earth, but while they're here, they are seeing stuff and enjoying their life. Some people balling and making money and driving cars and this, and having a good time and dancing and whatever they may be. But in the midst of this transition, they are on the path of physical death in a short time, just in general. And that's why it's so freaking serious. I'm like, yo, like, laughing, joking, and talking and stuff. But the thing is, this is a real thing.
Yeah, it is. It really is a real thing.
The thing is I didn't speak to it, but it was in my notes. The physical changes on the planet are there. Like there's people losing their homes and volcanoes erupting, and you know what I mean, like tsunamis, and the freaking sun is blasting off CMEs and so on and so forth every other day.
Right.
Like obviously being ignored by mainstream media, so it's kind of a cover up to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? So these things are actually taking place, and it's real. It's just that none of this stuff really matters to unawakened souls until it's obvious, until it's there. But the thing is when it's there and it's in your face, it's already too late. And what we're expressing here is for sensitive souls who are mature, that recognize what's taking place, to embrace the attributes and practices that are allowing us to shift beyond being in that category based on our own energy and our own willingness to embrace the hard work that it takes to evolve into that frequency of being. You know what I'm saying? So this is what this is about.
Yeah, the other aspect, the flip side of that too, is that you become what you entertain. So a lot of what the media portrays and what we see and all this, it's okay to be aware of all that kind of stuff, but there's people who dwell on it and constantly become, or get sucked in, so easily get sucked into it. I know there was a lot of times I saw myself getting sucked in. I'm like, no, I don't want any part of it. Let me fall back, because it isn't our reality. So if you want to know what's happening inside you, you just look at your environment. It's a direct reflection. If you're constantly entertaining all the negative, or should I say all the things that distortions and stuff, then that's going to be an example of the life you're going to live. And so we don't want to entertain it. I feel like I try not to. A lot of times it is entertaining to watch certain things, but I mean, at the end of the day, your intentions, you know where your intentions are. And I think that's where we
well, once again, we'll laugh, and you know what I mean, I'll end with this. We'll laugh all day at people bumping their head and getting hurt and so on and so forth until we get hurt.
Right.
Or somebody close to us get hurt. We'll sit at the internet and look at the Vine videos of people falling and busting their head and people getting in fights and bleeding and so on and so forth, and laugh and have a good time, or people getting scared and so on and so forth until it happened to us or somebody close to us. Then it's not a game no more.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is us giving our energy to that, you know, unfortunately unfolds these experiences. We basically are spectators of the drama until the drama realizes itself in our experience. And it's like, well, you were just laughing before, you know what? It ain't funny no more.
Yeah. And it's like you said, we absorb limitations. We absorb all these things so quickly, and it's like we're magnets to it. But we need to learn, you know, because I bet that if the media and out there would play good news, like always constantly good news, or the things that, because there are good things also happening. I feel that we don't see it, but there's a lot of good things happening. I mean, look at what Amon's doing. They're helping people. There's people out there helping each other, but that's not being shown out there as much as the distortions are. And I feel like if there was more of that shown, it would be sort of like addictive, like everyone else would follow through.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
Is you know what we expressing here. I mean, like, I know we gotta get to our questions and stuff like that, but what we've expressed here is that, you know, the shift, and it's a proactive experience where we're here to participate in such a reality. Like, when you're participating in doing the work, you seldom have time to view all of the videos and all the great people around the world doing nice things and so on and so forth. You don't have time to just sit there and scroll through videos to try to inspire yourself to see other people doing great things. You're supposed to be doing great things.
Absolutely.
You're doing by the services and the work that you're here to do, versus you sitting there and being a spectator to what everybody else is doing. Like, what's up with your awakening? You know what I mean? Okay, like, you know, looking at little dogs and people give homeless people stuff all day and all. Okay, great. It's it makes the heart soft and it feels good and so on and so forth. But the thing is you're on a divine mission.
Yeah.
And there's things that it's necessary for you to be doing right now versus, just sitting back and, scrolling and liking everybody's stuff. Oh, that's tight. That was cool. And, quoting other people and all that kind of stuff. Like, yo, where's your work?
So yeah, and the people who created multimedia know that we're so susceptible to suggestion. And that's why it's like that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's inside. And I feel like when you hear these stupid things about, Black Lives Matters and police brutality, yes, it existed. But guess what? Ever since they amplified it on the media, it grew even bigger.
Yeah, of course.
So now when you get stopped by a cop, you're super scared. Where before you weren't until you started watching all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a ripple of we're so.
It's just for the most part
we absorb it, and we shouldn't.
It's parading of programs,
right?
And a lot of these, a lot of the things, like you said, it existed before for a very long time. But the thing is, and race and all the other kind of stuff. But the thing is these are like trump cards.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended. These are like trump cards amongst the mainstream media to suck people into having conversations about distortions that have always been. It's just that they feed off of that energy.
Right. It
they
amplifies
need you
it
to focus on the distortions of the experience in order to fuel the fire.
Exactly, because you can't control chaos. I mean, you can't control when everything's in order. You can control chaos. Because naturally, a person, when they're in fear or they're in chaos, they look for something outside themselves. And so that's when they can control you, and there's no clarity. When you're in peace, exactly.
When you're in fear, you don't know what to do, and you're looking for somebody to tell you what to do.
Right.
And then that's when they appear to tell you what to do.
That's why it's very important to be in peace and be clear as much as you can. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
so
anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know it's a long discussion today. We are already at 2 hours, but in actuality, we had our intro and meditation and all that. So we got some time to get at some of the stories and your inquiries here in our comment section. Gentlemen, y'all got some? Can y'all get to y'all devices? And,
yes.
Let's talk about what we talk about online. Thank y'all once again for hanging out with us. This is a great discussion and experience that we're having, and it's now a moment. We really appreciate your presence and focus and your intent to continue to evolve here on the planet. Right now, we're going to get to some of your inquiries and see what we can, I
know there was some questions for sure. See, what I don't like about this, it doesn't let me go all the way back. At least this one doesn't.
No, only yours will.
Really?
Yeah. Because if you don't stay, actively online, pick everything up. But I know I saw one question way back. It was from.
It doesn't go. Well, I know someone asked if peace is constant.
Exactly. That's
right,
the same question. So that's basically the only question. Constant? Yeah, it's the only question I really saw. Is peace constant?
There was another one. I think there was. Yeah, right there.
Okay, I'll share a story while we're waiting. For Melody Lazinski, I saved a friend when I was moved to perform Reiki with zero training. I saw it and pulled it out of her using only my hands. She was dying from sepsis. I didn't know what I was doing. However, she came out of ICU the very next day. Wow, pretty cool. That's
awesome.
Yeah.
And who was that from again?
Melody Lazinski.
Melody, yeah, most definitely. Thank you so very much for connecting always, Melody. This is an expression or example of how through us embracing our intuition, we're doing things that can be, beyond imagination. We don't necessarily consciously realize the impact that we're having through our wholehearted expressions. Where, as we continue to ground ourselves, embrace our creativity, we can do things that are most magnificent and beyond comprehension of the ego mind. So continue to do so.
Yeah, just a comment here. Ahuva, she says everything is so changing. Even the way I experience my own feelings, there's a lot of movement in the corner of my eyes. It's exciting and wonderful. Word, that's nice.
Mary States.
Yeah. Question. Okay, I've been blessed to do a lot of inner work and receive confirmations that are tricky to put into words. I'm able to activate a lot of others. What I've noticed this past few months is friends who are being painted as having mental health issues, but I see it's not that. Word.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to continue to be the case for those continuing to experience these energies, where a lot of times these energies can bring about experiences and emotional states of being that aren't necessarily, for us to comprehend. But of course, the humanities medical field, especially when it comes to psychology, is based on patterns that have been accepted or which are embraced amongst, on a broad scale, if you will, amongst medical professionals. And a lot of times they'll place fancy titles on activity that they don't necessarily comprehend. Doesn't necessarily, labeling something as a disease that you don't understand is a cop-out. It's just that you don't understand and you're ignorant to the nature of a person's state of being. However, the easy route for psychologists in the study or field of psychology is just to label this activity as some type of disorder. However, we all know that there is only divine order. There's only divine order, and there's only perfection amongst life itself, where it's necessary for us to embrace what is and unconditionally love all beyond these professional opinions, if you will.
Comments during our conversation.
Yeah, these were comments.
Yeah. This is got a cool one.
Which one?
Acknowledge the elephant in the room. Sometimes you are the elephant.
You did?
Yeah, and then the other, they're agreeing, deal with it, overcome it, face it, get past it, confront it, cause you to pause for a reason. It is a manifested lesson. Just like fear, it is a spiritual alert system going off. You have been triggered to grow. Word. I like that.
Valerie.
You did. Love, Valerie. Thank you for showing up. We love you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, beloved, for having the courage to speak. You help others. You are the mirror. If you can do it, so can I. Rise above your limitations. That's from Valerie. That's what's
Absolutely.
up. All right.
Read that one.
This is from Hannah. I have been to hell this year, have had a deep depression. I am not through yet, but enough to breathe again. Though this I had the belief that it is for purpose. What I learned is to be true to myself and my feelings, but also the truth, and that I have the power to see past and over it. I could do that for 2 weeks and then went back, but the deep was not there any longer. Now I have a hard time to do that. Like the ego got a really tight grip of me. It's like I don't want to wake up. It is so much fear, and it hurts to go close, to dive in feelings so bad that I just want to run the other way. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Once again, Hannah, it is in your ability to embrace the experiences whatever is necessary for you or at your level of consciousness. Please feel free to do so beyond judgment or shame. However, as your light increases, you'll have the ability to embrace, allow, and move past it, where it's possible to stand your ground and do what it is that you came here to do. However, there is no right or wrong way. The way is the way for you. So embrace what is now and allow all to be.
Samantha Soares Pierre got a question. How do our loved ones manage to shift channels with us?
Well, this is not for you as an individual soul to decipher. The channel shifting or frequency shifting is an individual process. This is an individual decision. Kids fall in another category. However, all individuals fall within their own reality and category, if you will. But there is nothing that you can do other than shine your light the brightest that you can continuously in serving as an example for others. However, the expectation of them doing what you do it's not helpful. It's about you focusing on yourself and allowing the path of liberation for yourself to unfold, where the light that you're shining and the example that you're setting has a possibility of having an effect on your loved ones and those around you. However, you must do the work inside, and the energetic status or nature of another is not necessarily your business. Each individual has their own path and is playing a part in your life, where even within my particular reality, there are souls that I deeply enjoy connecting with. However, I don't have the ability to violate their free will or autonomy in attempting to convince them to evolve with me. I can't force a person to embrace ascension with me, no matter how much I really would like them to go with me on this journey or to evolve into the new earth with me. I cannot make that decision for another. So once again, this is something that requires healing. And if anything, the attempt to do so falls into the category of an ego attachment. So once again, that healing internally is absolutely necessary, and it is not easy at all, but it is something that's necessary for us to embrace.
So Hukman is asking, should we love all people?
Of course. All people are reflections. And the answer to your other question, if peace is constant, yes, peace is constant. Peace is the foundational frequency of life itself. Peace is the only frequency that is eternal. All feelings or emotions are temporary. That which remains eternal is the frequency of peace. Life itself is unconditional love vibrating at the frequency of peace. However, for a soul to consciously experience the peace that is, it requires the soul to embrace that frequency as a free will choice and decision. They can return to it, however, to experience peace on a constant level on your day-to-day reality within your experience, the physical construct. One must, by free will, choose to entertain and embrace the frequency of peace, to realize and observe the frequency of peace amongst the external reality. So peace is always there in the foundation of one's existence. However, the embrace of this frequency is always a choice in one's conscious existence.
Stefan in the house.
Stefan.
I'm relearning extraterrestrial language, it seems. I see more energies and feel more connected to intuition in general. I am practicing being more loving. I look forward to coming to visit you guys in 2018.
Word.
Can you confirm if 144,000 is extraterrestrial by nature?
Of course, 144,000 souls, extraterrestrial souls, made the time loop jump aboard our motherships. And in actuality, myself, along with quite a few others of our Galactic Council, is responsible for training you all in the physical ascension process. So the 144,000 that were trained here on the surface of planet Earth are here and extraterrestrial in nature. So that is the nature of our ground crew here on the surface.
Or can't go. Did you go all the way up there? Because I'm already at the bottom. Those are the questions I was getting.
Yeah, no, that's how it goes.
Okay.
Right there. Yeah, that's very slow.
Yeah, maybe because there's so many comments. No, 100%.
Yeah, it goes right back to. Yeah, you got them.
Yeah, that's the question. Silver Hoopman says thank you for answering the question. Hannah Stenmark said thank you for answering the question.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Mel says she connects with us in her dream state. What's up, Mel?
Absolutely. Thank you so very much for your services, Mel. We love you indeed for your continuous openness and supporting our efforts and who we are as one crew. So
yep.
Mel is doing a lot of the distribution and expressing the scheduling for a lot of our less builds and sharing our broadcast live with many of the groups that you all may be tuning in from. So thank you once again, Mel, Melissa, for your services.
She's also very involved in the UBC Rocks, and my gratitude to you, Mel. Thank you very much.
Yeah, word up. Yes, pretty much it. Yep.
All right, easy enough. Sounds good. If there are no more stories and inquiries for us, we're at what, like 2 hours, 11 minutes. Or what you got?
Hannah.
Yep.
She just asked, is it important to remind myself as a starseed in the mission I signed in for, or can I just focus on me being my true self as one with God?
There is no right or wrong answer to that.
Another one.
You know, the embrace of oneself and the nature of your mission, as well as recognizing who you are as God, remains an integrated aspect of your presence. It's not one or the other. The foundation of your existence here on the surface remains in your ability to recognize who you are as God. However, those of a more detailed existence, when it comes to our Starseed Lightworker Indigo community, have the ability to embrace on another level the nature of their mission, which is the proactive work that we're doing in creativity as God. So it's necessary to recognize who you are as God at the foundation, but at the same time, also recognize that you're here on a mission. This mission is not necessarily about titles, because this mission goes for all human incarnates that are intending to ascend as well. All have gifts of creativity and play a part in the manifestation and unfoldment of the new earth. So we all are God, and we all have missions, being that we are awakened. So to answer the nature of your question, both.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was last one.
Easy enough. So, yeah, you want to carry us on with a song, CeeLo?
Sure, no problem. Why not?
All righty.
All right. Let's see. We had has teleport, right?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to do that song, but not to toot my own horn or anything.
Toot.
But I mean, this is basically makes sense for the topic we're speaking on. Anyway, no ego here. It's just this did happen to get recorded.
Son back on the boards.
Yes, this happened to get recorded.
Overseas, back on the boards.
We did this for Christmas, right?
Back on the boards.
Yeah. We did this for Christmas, and well, basically, more healing. This song is titled Reborn, and it's on the Basement Politics or UBC page. It is actually the latest song that's been put up on there.
You heard?
Enjoy
Overseas,
it.
back on the boards.
You know what I mean?
Overseas, back on the boards.
Unpredictable cycles, strictly trying for some saying. Yeah, all African changes the forces and waking them silent. We can start elevation complaining. Blast, the gratitude show what I made it. The sun amazing, now align with the north and Orion. I rise a healing in the drone that blow us on fire. I scrap it high road, a whole lot of hydro. Yeah, later. Never will I do that for all seas, all children. Hip-hop's in the building, to get down. Certainly, my sanctity is my certainty. Just being free as a rainbow hummingbird with angelic wings. Singing a ballad of heavenly dreams. So serene, keep my reality. On a getaway to peacefully step in unison. All speaking up, no more secrets, no quiet is kept. Out from the heart space, the hearers and depths, begging clearly as an echo, same frequency of love, all in divine service, giving worship ain't our purpose. Pole shifted for the gifted on the eve of Christmas. Best wishes. Great day to be reborn. Breathe the fire, beat the phoenix noise. We like the silver hawks, I'm with my boys. Aficionado feathers, got the ray, the golden goggles. I shift dimensions, splitting prisms, holographic shaman. Vaporize the whole of Nefertiti. Just the writing on the wall, sacred fly graffiti. Everyday struggle coming to a close. Your press the buttons, create the control. My art is the soul of the program, bro. I like that. A new protocol destined for the regiment. Executing policies that's heaven sent. We run back after these messages from my sponsors. G4, Biggie Young placebos. I want the good that hold me feel enough for these hoes. I'm in the luxury bed, flowers on the leaf soaps. They did the milk and your booty soaps for these toes.
You have to not be scared to go away. Obviously, I think a lot of people are frightened that if they go away, if they disappear for a while, everything will crumble, they'll come back and there's no place for them. I think the break, actually being away, is good for us all, because it gives you a chance to realize why you're doing what you do and actually want to do what you do.
I hope you were stalling before because I meant what I said. Now look, this is the way I figure it out.
You still out here? Yeah, Sonic. Finally getting together. Yeah. Sonic, you on the D, right? Yo. It's a rebirth, though. It's a new season. Sky, outside. Really my bad. Pardon me. I'll be right back in the bitch. Hey yo, they're not just stepping in on me, bro. Let the council set the problem. I busting legends at the top. And I'm able to feel my same in the mess. Cause take the rest. And frequency stepping up, baby. Sugar the shots like yeah. For now, I'm like now. People that's on the ground. Yo, put it down. 18 around here. When they get character, then I want the damager. I'm before the Chelsea 100, and I have a picture my dude. Southside. Freaky living man is dirty. Turn the daddy about to gravitate. Ground niggas Southside. Whoa, Southside. Whoa. Baby man, she said, I'm gonna run the speeches. I'm gonna run the speeches. Yeah. Got it going on. Shucky ducky. Quack, quack, man, did nothing these facts. Wow, get your deep wet, reset. Right foot first, re-step. Right shoes, girl, get good. Remember the thing on the beat on the scene. Sitting on the couch on my beat, no heat. Want the fucking subject, my triple beam. The girls who power the power. Just make my brothers who they call me naive. And I'm responsible for all the heat. And yellow, I seem like every time I breathe, it's just I'm just like, get with my disease. Going on, so hold on.
Let's be sure.
Yeah. Steady! Stellar! On the ground, though. Yeah. Gentlemen. Dig. It's time, no doubt.
It's a new season. It's a new season. We back in the building. 2018 is gonna be amazing. More creativity constantly. Let's see. Do we have any more questions, gents?
You got one there?
Let's see what we got here.
I don't.
You didn't get any questions?
There was.
I am fearless. I'm working on
Absolutely. We're born, ready to rock and roll, Melody. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go, Alice. Absolutely. Let it reverberate, Zena. You are love, Mel. Let's see. Well, no. All right, cool. We good?
Ahuva has a story real quick. Since I was a very small child, I knew that my origin is not from Earth, even that I was born on Earth many times. I couldn't understand the rules of planet Earth and the physics. I had memories from other places that felt more close to my heart. I was aware of my mission and service, and each time the mission got different colors that I had to embrace. Okay.
Absolutely. Beautiful stories. Once again, hyperspace, multidimensional states of being constantly. It is your awareness of your multidimensional self that allows for the expansion and communication of the multidimensional nature of oneself throughout the dimensions. It's your awareness and embrace of these aspects of your being, which allows for the connection. It's not necessarily waiting for any type of proof. Those within the frequencies of being that recognize that they are multidimensional are communicated with through notions, through feelings, through guidance, through, in some cases, synchronicities. Constantly. However, this has its foundation in your awareness and embrace of that awareness that you are multidimensional, that the higher self remains with you and is you as you continue to move deeper and deeper into this transition. You merge as one, where you become the higher self here in the physical through the fully conscious or full consciousness process. However, once again, the first step remains in your recognition and embrace of this multidimensionality. I dare to say, I want to say I've expressed this before. Your cultivation of your relationship with who we are, the angelic realms of the Galactic Council, the Black Federation of Light, allows us to connect with you more. This is pretty clean. If you embrace the nature of our presence with you, the more we communicate with you and support you. but this comes from spiritual maturity, of course, and recognizing that we are here with you. So, you have anything else?
That's it.
That we good to go? All right, easy enough. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so very much. What we got, bro? New Year's party. That's right. New Year's. What day is that?
That'll be Sunday, the 31st, going into Monday.
What is
Monday's the 1st. But Sunday will be
okay,
the 31st.
cool. So this Sunday.
This
Sunday. All right, cool. So this Sunday, New Year's, what's it? That's the 31st, right? The Sunday's the 31st. Okay, cool. So the 30th, got you. So this Sunday, that is 3 days from now, we'll have our New Year's party here at the Rock. We'll broadcast maybe like the bring in. I don't know, like the New Year here. I don't want to broadcast the whole thing.
No. I told them that they might catch some footage from different.
Okay,
members of the group.
Yeah, that's a good.
I just had a set time or anything like that.
That's a good something right there. Yeah. All right, cool, easy enough. So that's what we will do, and we'll leave it at that. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. We love you as always. Who we are, the Angelic Rounds of the Galactic Council of the Galactic Federation of Light. Thank you so very much. Continue to shine your light. Big up to AAA holding it down today. Big up to overseas and being a maestro, taking care of business, universal brothers and sisters. Galactic Federation of Light always. Thank you.
Peace.